As I'm sure you just received an email that this Thursday we're not going to have our third week Q&A, because what's important as the holidays approach is, above all the principles that I am learning that I've tried to teach you, is family. So, one of the things I'm trying to work really hard is on my family. I spent 10 years of my life, of my children's life behind jail. So now I really very, very purposeful about it. But I'm very excited about what we have done. We covered 3 great topics. We dealt with coming clean. What does coming clean mean? How do we deal with those hidden secrets within us that unless that we are really, really engaged, either publicly to those that we have hurt or to those that we've kept a secret from, or just personally engaged on them, we can't go forth and build that ultimate narco mindset that I call. And why is that? Well, really simple, because any hidden secret or sin, whatever you want to call it, that you're dealing with, that you've been harboring all these years, has just kept you in bondage. And it isn't until you deal with it, until you overcome it, that you'll be able to move forward. The next principle that we covered the second week was vision. And vision is critical. Why? Because every time that I look back on my life and the success I had in the Medellin drug cartel and the success that later on I had in life, building a multi-million-dollar company and raising 6 very successful children and having an amazing marriage of 25 years, I really attribute a lot of it to vision. I've always created a vision for where I wanted to be. I always tell people, if you have no idea where you want to go, how do you think you're going to get there? How are you going to really put a roadmap? So this is a very, very important principle that I really would really urge you to work on during these holidays as you get ready to that New Year's resolution. That New Year's resolution should be nothing more than to build that ultimate mindset. That mindset that's going to allow you to see the world differently. That mindset that's going to tell you there is no obstacle big enough. The mindset that's going to tell you that when you reach an obstacle in your life, you don't turn back. You figure out how to overcome it, how to jump it. The mindset that says that no matter how many times you get knocked down, you're going to be able to get up again. The mindset that would allow you to see the world with no fear because you're not going to recognize your weaknesses. The mindset that's going to tell you that integrity, the third principle that we cover, is most critical moving forward with that mindset. Building on a mindset that really strengthens integrity, that allows you to see that your yes is yes and your no's are no's. And that no, we cannot go back, or no, we can't tell a lie because, it's just a white lie or it's a gray lie. No, a lie is a freaking lie. So as you build that ultimate mindset, first and foremost, it begins at home. As I coach many people throughout the years, one thing that I have noticed they all have in common: very rich, celebrity, athletes, and people that are just up and coming in the business world. They all have one thing in common: marriage problem and children's problem. Well, I should say 2 things. So one of the basic things as I begin to coach these people that I really worked on is, how do we fix our home? Unless we fix our home, there's nothing else that's going to be important. A bad home, that includes a bad marriage or problem with our children, is going to affect our life. Chick-fil-A proved it. They figured out that those operators that were really underperforming all have marriage issues. So it was brilliant for the Catholic family to build a center called Windshape at Barry University, where they focused on strengthening that family, strengthening that marriage. Listen, love is a choice. Believe that. It is not an emotion. There's no such freaking thing as I fell out of love or I fell in love. I choose to love or I choose not to love. The grass is not greener on the other side. And in a culture where divorce is so popular, where we go into marriages a lot of time with the idea that, if it doesn't work out, we'll get a divorce. That's a mindset that's going to allow you to fail in life. Listen, I know and I understand. There's marriages that are irrevocable. There's marriages that just cannot be put together. There are marriages that are just not going to work. But it does not mean that you didn't give it all you had. Because in life, when you give it all you have, then you can rest assured that whatever happens, you'll be able to deal with it. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about the topics coming. Topics that allow me to not only build a drug empire at the age of 21, but go on and build a multi-million-dollar company when I lost it all. I'm really excited for the people that have joined. I get emails. Oh, I need to talk to you. When can we set up a Zoom? I just don't have the time, and I won't. Doesn't mean I don't talk to people. Of course I do. But the truth is, if you see how many people contact me, how am I going to be able to really attend to everyone and then abandon my family? So one of the things that I did, and that I urge you this holidays, at 5 o'clock, 5:30, after dinner, before dinner, I turn my phones off. I don't answer my phone for anyone except my children. And that is because they all work. And sometimes the only time they have to call me is after work. So I do answer because that's family time. But I don't answer for anybody else, no friend, no matter how good of a friend it is, no matter if it's my best friend that I love dearly. No matter who or what, at 5 o'clock the phone comes off. You know what? It's really interesting. I ran $100 million a month empire. We didn't have a cell phone. You know what we had? Quarters in a bag. And when we needed to talk to someone, we went to see them. Today, we don't even call. We now text. A lot of people text me and I just don't text back. Because, I still have a hearing. So one of the things that I urge you, my brothers and sisters, is really work on detaching from your phone. Detaching from your social media and attaching to your family. Your family is the most important thing that you have. You will not, it doesn't matter what mindset you build, if your family is broken, you will suffer. If your children are having problems, you will suffer. Do you realize that during this pandemic, teenage suicide has doubled? Think about that. That's really, really a sad statistic. And it's one that should make all of us really, really alarmed. If we lose this generation, Abraham Lincoln said it better than anyone. He said, a child is a person that's going to go on to become our next teacher, our next doctors, our next politician, our next president, our next priest, our next preacher. He went on to say, the fate of humanity lies in the hands of our children. Think about that clearly, my brothers and sisters. The fate of humanity lies in the hands of your children. Pay attention to them. When children commit suicide, they'll give you many, many signs before that they're struggling. The question is, are we looking? We need to look. My wife and I are constantly looking. My wife and I are constantly talking to our children, involving their lives, and creating that safe space where they know they can come to us and say no matter what. Whether we agree with it or not, whether we like it or not, they are our children. They had no voice in choosing who their mother and their father was. And neither did yours. So I urge you that when you get ready to make that New Year's resolution, that the first thing that you do is that you're going to strengthen your family. And if that family is just you, and it's just a couple friends, well, you know what? Then you strengthen that. Because interesting is that if you have a strong hold in your family, if you have a strong family, you and them will be able to conquer any obstacle that there is. But a weak family is really a formula for destruction. Integrity. As you go on and build this narco mindset, don't think about the past. Put the past behind you. Think about the future. If you live in the past, you know what's going to happen? You're never going to be able to be in the present. So as you create this ultimate mindset, or as you build and try to do your New Year's resolution, or you think during the holidays in your time off, how can I be all that I was created to be?